All right, in between the storms here today, I got the next hour and a half before it's supposed to pour on us again. I'm going to try to change the oxygen sensors in the WRX here. I just had like a constant misfire issue with this car ever since we got it, and I think the next problem here is the O2 sensors. At least I hope I'm correct. I keep getting code for bank 1 being rich. We're also having a potentially related issue. I'm not sure if it's related or unrelated. It's just a coincidence they're happening all at once. The car will just randomly die if you take too long to shift gears, or even if you're just cruising and then pushing the clutch. After a second or two, it'll just completely die. So a lot of times this is when you're rolling up to a stop sign, you go to press in the clutch, pop it in neutral, the car dies. Or even just taking a turn, if you take too long downshifting, it dies. And then all the lights come on the dash, and it disables stability control and the hill assist and cruise control and all kinds of stuff. So I don't know if that's related. I don't know if maybe the O2 sensor's causing it to die. Usually a car runs just fine with a bad O2 sensor, albeit getting reduced performance and fuel economy. However, I have had them before to where the car absolutely would refuse to run with the bad O2 sensor, and also they can cause misfire as well. And then because it's dying, it's losing communication, because we got some communication issues on there. I forget the exact code, but basically the reason it's throwing all those lights is because it's losing communication. Well, maybe the reason it's losing communication is because the car keeps freaking dying while we try to drive it. I was doing this a while back. We replaced the battery, even though I tested the battery and it seemed to be good, but she wanted to replace the battery anyways, just in case. And it actually cleared up for, I don't know, 2 months, 3 months maybe, and now it's back to the same old crap. I was like, well, we're getting the bank 1 code running rich because, well, when it misfires, of course it's going to pick up rich because it's dumping fuel down the exhaust. But when I plug my scanner into it, I'm not getting like any reads from any of the O2 sensors, so I'm thinking maybe all of this is just the O2 sensors. And like I said, we've had misfire issues with this car ever since we got the thing. I think she got it with it had 50-some thousand miles on it. It was just shy of the warranty being expired at 60,000 miles. Took it into the dealer. They couldn't find anything wrong with it. They did retune on it and all that, and of course while they had it, it wouldn't misfire. It was intermittent. I ended up changing the spark plugs way back when, and it solved the issue for a while. And then it started misfiring again. So then the second time it started misfiring, replaced the coil packs, and again I think that solved it for a little while, and then it started misfiring again. I'm like, what the heck is going on with this car? It's got new plugs, new coil packs, and we're right back to square one with the stinking thing misfiring. Then we took it to our tuner, which this would have been the first time we went there, but in this area of the state we're in, there's not a whole lot of options for tuners that are close to us. They're all like 2-3 hours away. But we found one, and they were actually really nice to us, and we kept having this weird power loss on top end, and they thought it was, what was it, the boost controller or something like that was sticking. So they gave us another factory unit they had on hand. It was used, it was pulled off from one where they had done all kinds of work to it, and so they were super nice and installed that for us, let us have it for free. They had the car for like 2 or 3 days running it around and trying to figure out what the issue was for us, and replaced that. I did all that for like 90 bucks, I think it was. Like I said, just being nice and trying to earn a future customer, no doubt, which they did. I'll get to that. And it fixed the car for about 2 weeks, and then it started the same old crap. And she wanted to go at least stage 1 on this, which it is currently a stage 1. So we just ended up taking it back in, and they did the stage 1. Well, we did stage 1 in a Pro Tune. The reason we took it in was to get it dyno tuned after the stage 1 was installed. And I was going to install it all myself, but I didn't for the reasons mentioned following. I was going to do a bunch of the stuff myself, and post some videos installing like the 3-port on it and the cold air intake and stuff like that. But then they were saying how if I didn't do it satisfactorily, then they'd have to redo everything, because everything has to be done just right and all that. And even though I've been working on cars, let's see how long, about 20 years and all that, not that they would do so, but I didn't want to give them any excuses to charge us more and to redo work that I did. So I was like, I just let them do that way that we don't have to worry about anything like that. So we took it in, they put the 3-port on it, the cold air intake, you know, stage 1 for these things. We already has the NVIDIA cap back on it. And then we did a Pro Tune. Instead of using the Cobb access port, we just did a Pro Tune on it. That way it's set up, and it's also cheaper for additional tunes further down the road, because we plan on going stage 2 and stage 3 probably in the future. But anyways, got it back from them and all that, and it's been running fantastic. No misfire issues or anything. This was sometime last year, so several months, and now we're back to misfiring again. And I just actually, sorry, there was a misfire after that. Shortly after we got it back, I don't know, a couple months later, started misfiring again. But I was like, well, it's time to do the plugs again. Did the plugs again, and then it stopped misfiring. Now we're back to misfiring again. But the plugs in it are good, because I did them not too long ago, and the coil pack should still be good. So we're back to square one with this dang thing. So I know typically the service life on O2 sensors is like 80 to 100,000 miles or something like that. As far as them, you know, working like new. Of course, you know, O2 sensors, if you're lucky, you can make it to 200,000 miles. But as far as them working like new, you know, only about 80 to 100,000 miles. And, you know, a lot of times around 80,000 miles, they take a poo on you. And I think this thing's at 130,000 now, so they're definitely past their prime. And like I said, I hooked up my scanner to it, my Snap-on Modus, and I'm not getting like any reads from them. So I'm thinking and hoping it's the O2 sensors. So gonna do the O2 sensors today and see if that'll be what solves our misfire issue for like the 5th time now since we've owned this thing. But with all that rambling out of the way, it's, I don't want to say easy, but it appears to be easy access to the O2 sensors. They're just right under here. You only actually have one bank on this car because of the turbo system. So one bank as far as the O2 sensors are concerned. This car only has 2 O2 sensors for the entire thing. It doesn't have 2 for each side. It's just got 2 on one side, but they're right down here. So I'll get the car lifted up and we'll get this thing swapped out. All right, so there's both oxygen sensors. If they have these on Amazon, I'll put a link in the description because I'm an Amazon associate. If they do not have these, I'll try to post an alternative in there that I would trust. I got a few other links too for like my jack and the stand I use, impact wrench and whatnot. But those are the O2 sensors we're using there by Walker. Already got the battery disconnected so it can relearn for the new O2 sensors. They're right down here on the driver's side. You see you got one there. So we got to get that guy out. And the other one's right there. So I'm going to get these sprayed, so hopefully they'll break free for me fairly easy. So that was super easy to get to. This may be the easiest car I've ever done for O2 sensors. We'll see. Because it's super easy to get up in there and get them unplugged. But it is going to be a little tight getting these O2 sensor sockets up in here. I'll put a link in the description for this as well. But this makes your life a lot easier. You try to use a regular wrench, a lot of times it'll round the edges and slip off. So then I moved up to a line wrench, and that works a lot better, but these sockets are still way better than even a line wrench. For me, it's a 7/8. Again, if you want to get yourself a pair of these, it makes the job a lot easier. I put a link in the description. So I haven't had a whole lot of time to let them soak yet, so but I don't have much time to wait with the storm coming. I can hear thunder and everything, so let's try to get these broken out here. And that's the other thing too, you might have to let, you know, it sit and spray over and over for like 2 or 3 hours to get it with a line wrench, whereas one of these sockets is generally going to let you get them out pretty quick and not have to wait. There they are 2 minutes later, and yeah, that was like the easiest O2 swap ever. I mean, I still got to put the new ones back in, but man, that was easy. Some of these I've been at for hours, and then you can like barely get your arm up in there, and just super easy access, and then having those specialized O2 sockets there made it even easier. If you're watching this as a how-to instead of just being along for the journey, do not touch the sensor portion of the O2s there. You'll want to get them greasy or they might not work. And then while you're installing them, you got to kind of twist that wire with it as well, so you don't get the wire all twisted up and broken, then you'll lose your signal. That is it. She's done. Yeah, that was definitely the easiest O2 swap I've ever done. So like I said, don't know for sure if that's going to solve the misfire issue, but I gave my reasons why I thought it may. But as I said earlier, they were definitely past due anyways, at least to keep the car you know, running prime. So no harm, no foul if it does not fix it, but with any luck it will. So I'm gonna let her idle for about 5-10 minutes and then take it down the road and see what happens. Still dying when I come to a stop and push the clutch in. This is way worse than it was misfiring, but stay tuned for the next video because I figured out a big part of the problem. That would be that weird sound I heard. I was driving around for a few minutes and I kept hearing this light weird sound. I thought it was an exhaust shield just kind of like vibrating, but I think we figured out what it was. So that's cool. I was going to say hang it back up, but obviously maybe might be able to put some pins to it. Anyways, problem not solved. I'll probably insert some footage of what it's doing, and yeah, it's not any better at all. It drives fine as long as you stay out of it, and as soon as you punch it 1 or 2 times, then it just starts acting up and keeps progressively getting worse and worse and worse, which again is why I thought it might have been the O2 sensors. Like if they're, you know, like barely hanging on with their last leg or whatever, you know, maybe they're okay just driving around like a normal human being and not like me. And then once you hit it, then it, you know, it puts on under stress and whatnot. So I guess you could say, you know, coil packs for the same reason. The coil packs might be all right until you hammer it on a few times and then they get heated up and all that. But, you know, they should still be good unless it's one of those cars where the coil packs just don't last very long, which I've not heard of that issue with this car, but I'm beginning to wonder. There was one other car that was notorious for that, the Mazda RX-8, the coil packs, even the factory coil packs would only last like 30-40,000 miles, 60,000 miles max. So you're just constantly replacing coil packs on that car. It seems like, I don't know, man. I'm getting really, it's been non-stop with this thing. Like I said, since we got it, there's always some damn misfire issue, but now it's the misfire plus the dying. So before it was just the misfire and power loss, and now it's dying at every stop I come to. And again, fine, driving around normal, you know, keep it under 10 psi of boost, but once you hammer on it, then it starts acting up and it won't stop after that. So it's aggravating something. So it's not the O2 sensors. So I guess it's going to end up being a freaking series, like with the Eclipse, trying to figure out all the dang issues and get them fixed, which I finally did on the Eclipse. But so I don't know if might be doing all the ignition stuff next, or just taking it to the tuner and being like, what the heck, man. But keep you guys posted. Thanks for watching. Again, link in the description for the jack stand, impact gun I use, and that nifty little O2 socket set there. But I'll see you guys on the next one. And I mean, that's why you're not supposed to just throw parts at a car guessing, because you're just, you know, you keep replacing stuff and spending money and it doesn't fix the problem. But I really just have no clue with this car, because like I said, the freaking plugs and coils should still be good. They were replaced not that long ago by yours truly. And so yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on now. But like I said, the O2s were due anyway, so you know, it's not money down the drain that didn't fix it, because it was time for those to be replaced anyways. And unless this thing makes it to like 250,000 miles, then it'll probably be the last O2 set we ever have to put in it anyways.